Time for the big reveal. Let's see the before and after. Welcome back to Living with a Classic, and if you're new to my channel, I hope you stick around and consider subscribing. I put new videos every week on some Jaguar and classic car related content. In today's video, we're going to take the paint of my 1975 XJ6 and make it look amazing. It's going to be done really easily. I'm not going to use any weird power tools or anything. I'll only be using some good products and my hands. So I can show you how you can easily do that at home without having to buy any expensive polishing tools or anything. All you need is some good products and some time. And the bonus thing is that when you're done, you'll have a pretty good workout. It's kind of like the Karate Kid, you know, wax on and wax off. But it works and it will look really nice. So the whole plan is to just try and do all of this in one day to show how much life you can bring back into faded paint in one day. The paint is really faded, blotchy, just doesn't look nice at all. But first we're going to go outside and we'll have to wash the car before we start. Before we start polishing the car, we need to start with a clean car. So I'm going to wash it first. Just a normal simple wash, nothing special, but I am going to do it twice just to make sure it's really nice and clean. And afterwards I'm going to dry it off so it's nice and dry. I'm going to take the car inside and work on it in my workshop. If you don't have access to a garage or a workshop, I recommend finding some place in the shade, because most of these products you'll be using don't want to be in direct sunlight because that might hurt the paint. So try and be in the shade. Now we're inside and here are the products I'm going to use. So I'm a big fan of Meguiars. I've used them for a long time and I think that they make excellent products, especially for their paint stuff. And the nice thing is it also smells nice, so it's nice chemicals to work with. So even though the car is completely clean now, there is still surface contamination in the paint that we don't want to rub into the paint and create scratches when we polish it. So I'm going to start with a quick detailer and a clay bar. It's really great just to pick up anything that's left in the paint. This will leave a nice smooth finish, and then we can start with the compound. So I have some oxidation in the paint and some scratches. I don't have any deep scratches anywhere. If I do find deep scratches, I might switch to just a really abrasive rubbing, but I haven't found any deep scratches at all in this car so far. So I think the Meguiar's Ultimate Compound will help to get rid of the oxidation, make the color pop a bit more, and bring back this old faded paint. When that is done, I'm going to use Ultimate Polish. This is also called a pre-waxing glaze. I really love this stuff. It's by far one of my favorite Meguiar's products because it really makes that paint pop before you wax it. It makes it look amazing. It takes rid of any small swirl marks that you might get from the compound, and it also helps to sort of remove any compound that could be left in the paint. This stuff is really great. And when that is done, of course, we're going to wax it. This is my favorite Meguiar's wax. I've been using this for years, and actually this can is pretty old, as you can see. But there's still plenty left in there. I've probably done about 3 or 4 cars with this one. So we're going to do 2 coats of this wax just to protect it and give it a nice shine that will last. Also, the water beads off really well with this stuff, so that will be really nice to see as well the first time you're out in the rain. To apply everything, I have several of these. This is just one of them. Sort of a terry microfiber cloth applicator pads. This one's by Maguire. I think they're really great. And when you're done with them, you can throw them in the washing machine and they come out looking like this, pretty much brand new. So we have a couple of those to apply the compound and the polish. And to wipe everything off, I have these terry cloth microfiber towels, which are really great. You'll need tons of those, so I just picked up a lot of them down at the auto parts store, and they're really nice and soft. So let's have a look at the paint, especially here in the front where it's oxidized. The first thing we're going to focus on is this front wing because it's in the worst shape of all the paint on the car. It has the most oxidation and it will need the most work. So if you can see just how oxidized it is, you can also hear when my hand goes over it how there's definitely surface contamination. It's not nice and smooth. It's pretty nice and smooth there, but it's definitely surface contamination here. So you can even see that I tried it before here, like just with your finger, you can almost polish the paint. That's how oxidized it is. So step one, let's start by claying this part. So of course I'm going to be doing the whole car, but I think for this video, I will focus on this front wing. And we'll get this thing looking real nice. Then I'll do the rest of the car off camera. And when it's all done, we'll do a big reveal outside in the sun. And you'll see how hopefully nice this car will turn out. There's nothing really to claying a car. You have a type of quick detail. You usually can buy all of this in a kit. This is a quick clay kit by Meguiars, which I really like. And when you run out of clay, you can just buy new stuff. This stuff is pretty cheap. So the whole idea is that you wet the surface, you lubricate it with the spray, which is basically just a detailer spray that you can use to detail the car if you want to as well. So with that nice and wet, I like to spray some on the clay as well. And then you just sort of run the clay over the paint. You will feel that places up here, like I said, where it's pretty smooth, it will glide over the paint really quickly. And then if you can hear that, where there's surface contamination over here, you can sort of hear it. And you see, now it's smooth over there. So basically you just work this over the paint, make sure the area stays lubricated until you get everything nice and smooth. So if you have a look here, you can already see that it's picking up a lot of dirt and debris and some green stuff as well. I think this car has at some point by previous owner been waxed with a colored wax, which is not something that I'm a huge fan of, but some people really like it. So that's something that we're probably going to pick off a lot with the clay and the compound later. So what I just did now is I switched to a clean side of the clay. So you don't want to, put any scratches in it, but it's really difficult to scratch anything with clay. So I'm just going to continue doing this until everything is nice and soft, or smooth I mean. And just as an example, I'll show you. So for instance, this area is pretty much done now. I'll grab the microfiber towel and just wipe it off. You're not going to get a shine or anything. It doesn't do anything like that. All it does is clean up the paint so you're ready for the next step. If you've seen some of my other videos where I try different products, you know I always like to do a before and after. So once again, I've set up a masking tape line. So we're going to polish the front half of this wing. When we're done, pull off the tape and we'll see what a big difference it's going to make. So now it is nice and smooth from the clay, so that's a great start. Now we're going to start with Maguire's compound. With any product, you should always shake it up before you use it. I have a clean applicator pad. I'm just going to put some on a corner, that to the side, and I have a new clean microfiber towel as well. So I will just work this into the paint in circular motions with sort of medium pressure. The more pressure you put on it, the more abrasive it is. I usually start with just medium pressure and sort of seeing what happens. So you see I'm just working the product, trying to use all of it. And when you start to feel it go a little dry, you sort of basically use that. So then you use the microfiber towel and polish it off. And if you see that, we're already seeing a massive difference. And we're getting some of the paint or possibly colored wax on this applicator pad, which is not really a big deal. So we're just going to continue until we've done this whole part of the panel. Just doing the last wipe down now, but I think you guys will be able to see what a difference it's already made. It's always hard to show these sort of things on camera, but I guess that you guys can see my reflection. You can see how shiny it is, and it's just so nice and smooth. Listen to that, completely quiet compared to that, and even just compared to that. So now we're going to move on to the next step. I'm really happy with what the compound did. It took about 4 or 5 applications working it in there, polishing off to get the paint back. There's no oxidation left. There are no marks or anything. There was a tiny scratch over here. That's gone. It's looking a lot better. It's old paint. It's not new paint at all, so it's not going to look like a freshly painted car, but it looks a lot nicer now. So now we're going to make it really pop with the ultimate polish. I'm going to use the other side of the applicator I used. You can see how much of the paint basically came off, or if that's the color wax, I'm not really sure, but definitely turned green. So we'll use the back side, which is clean. And it's the exact same method. Now I just got some over the paint, but you can just dry it off. Exact same method as before, using a small amount and circular motions and work it into the paint. However, on the back side of this product, they state very clearly that you should not let this dry into the paint. I don't think you should let any polish dry in the paint, but on this one they really warn you, do not let this product dry. So even before it starts feeling a little dry, like right there, I'm going to grab my microfiber towel. This is a new clean microfiber towel, and we're going to wipe it off. And really hope this is showing up on camera, but it's already looking, I mean, there were some tiny little swirl marks, they're gone. It's already looking a lot better. So I'm going to do it probably 2 more times, and then I'll bring you guys back for the final wipe off. And you're back for the final wipe here. This is after the 3rd time. Did some local areas again. The 1st time that I think I missed before, but that looks fantastic. It's so nice and smooth. Once again, listen to this. Compare it to the hood. It's a massive difference. So I think it's time to pull the tape. Time for the big reveal. Let's see the before and after. And just look at that difference. You can even hear a difference, I think. Or at least I can feel it. This feels all rough, and this is just amazingly smooth. Now I'll do the same thing off camera with the rest of the car. There's quite a bit left to do, but when I've done all of that, we'll come back and I'll show you how I like to wax it. We'll give it 2 coats, and then it should be looking really nice, and we'll go outside for a big reveal. Some of you guys may be wondering what to do about, rubber and stuff. The great thing about Meguiar's products is they say that they won't leave any white marks on any of the rubbers or anything. However, I still try to be careful and not go, over on top of the rubbers a lot. If I do have a lot of plastic on the car, I use some masking tape just to mask it off. But with this sort of just light rubber on this car, sort of around the windscreen and stuff like that, I've never had any issues with any Meguiar's products ruining that rubber or turning it white. So I've got some work left to do, but you'll see it in a few seconds. This car will be looking really nice. Many hours later, and now the car looks completely different. It's all shiny and smooth. So I did the exact same thing that I showed you on that bit of the front fender. So I clayed the whole car. I went over the whole car with compound, and then I went over the whole thing with the final polish as well. So the whole car is just as smooth as glass and catches the light really beautifully. Just everything, it turned out really great. However, now that you have the car shiny and looking the way you want it to, you want to protect it, you want to keep it this way. So now we're going to apply some of that great Meguiar's paste wax. Set up the camera again and I'll show you how I like to do it. Once again, here's the wax I'll be using. It's Meguiar's Ultimate Paste Wax. I think this stuff is great. It's really easy to apply. It's just like a paste over the car, especially with this applicator pad that comes in a kit. It's really easy to apply. It's easy to take off. It gives a really deep shine and it lasts long. I've used this both on cars that I basically garage keep all the time and only take to car shows. It lasts a long time. I've also used it on cars that are daily driven that stay outside a lot, which this one is, and then it lasts for a long time. You have really nice beading. You can see just how any rainwater just like falls off the paint. It's really nice. But the best part is also, I think, since it's a Meguiar's product, it smells really good. So The easiest way to apply it is just, get some on the applicator pad and just start somewhere, circular motions. And the trick is to have a thin coat. So a thin, even coat over the whole car. You want to let this dry, so that's why I do this last after you've basically polished the whole car, because you can do the whole car at once. Let this dry, or while it dries you can go and grab some coffee or tea or grab some lunch. Let it dry to a haze and then you remove it. I've covered the whole car now in a thin, even layer of wax. And make sure you get it, everywhere you want a nice wax protection. So anywhere there's paint, around the headlights as well, go down here. Also on this car, the pillars down here, in here, basically anywhere you want to protect your paint, make sure you get some wax in there. Now I'm going to let this dry to a haze, and then we'll be back and polish it off. Now everything is dried to a haze, but there is an easy way to test if it's ready to go off. Take your finger and just swipe it quickly across the paint. If you blotch out the wax, just remove it around, it's not ready. But if the wax comes off really easily, just doing here with my finger, you're ready to take it off. So just grab a clean new microfiber towel, and all you do is just sort of try to remove all the wax. It's very simple. And when you're done, flip to a clean side or a new clean microfiber towel for the final wipe down, and you'll get amazing results. So I will continue wiping off the whole car. I'm going to apply one more layer of wax. I always think it's good to do 2 layers, also so you don't miss anything. And then I'll pull the car outside and we'll do a big reveal. After applying and removing a second coat of wax, I've now pulled it out into the afternoon sun on this absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous autumn day. And just look at the car. It's popping. The paint is fantastic. It looks like it's brand new paint. It's so smooth and just has a complete different color than before. It looks absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. The British Racing Green just looks so deep and dark, and I love all the reflections coming off the road onto it. When I was driving it up here, I could see the sky and the hood. It was just absolutely, absolutely fantastic. Okay, I noticed I missed some wax there. I'll have to remove that. But this thing just looks fantastic, and I'm definitely not completely done with it. I am going to apply a few more coats in a couple places where I just want to protect the car extra. It's not to make it look nicer, not to make it shinier. It's just to protect it because I'll be using it. So the lower parts of doors and lower parts of the wings and around the headlights, I will apply just an extra coat or so just to get that extra protection. And then when I find some areas where, maybe I've gotten some wax around some rubbers here, I'll go around with a little detailing brush and just remove that in a couple days, and it will look fantastic. But overall, I think the result is absolutely, absolutely astonishing. It's a completely new car. Now it doesn't look like a worn out 45-year-old car that I'm driving around. This thing looks gorgeous. The only thing letting it down now is the interior, but that will be something for an upcoming video sometime in the future. Not really sure when, but something I definitely want to do at some point. But now I'm just really, really happy with this paint. And that's it for this video. And I want to say one thing. I am by no means a detailing expert. There are lots of people who do this every single day professionally, and they're amazing. I've seen some of the jobs that they do, and it's amazing. I'm nowhere near that. I'm never going to be. But I think for most of you guys at home like me, this is more than good enough. It looks fantastic. I'm so happy with the results. And the great thing is that with such a clean and waxed car, it's a lot easier to keep clean. Because if it's nice and smooth, the dirt comes off easily, doesn't scratch as easily. So it's going to be easier to keep this car clean. Also, because I'll be using it as my daily driver, that's nice. I don't have to clean it as often. I am, of course, still going to probably wash it about once a week. However, this will make it last longer as well. It protects against rust as well. It protects your paint from oxidizing and splitting. So it's a good favor you're doing your car. Also, That's a good bonus. Now it looks really nice. So if you liked any of the products I used, I'm in no way, shape, or form sponsored at all, but I put a link to them down below. Just a link to Amazon where you can pick them up, the exact products that I use. So if you like any of them, you can pick those up as well. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below how you like to detail your car and which products you like to use. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. And until next time, I'm Adam, and this was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.